Hello students, welcome back to 11 Commerce, RKSP Boys Higher Secondary School, and a subject Commercial Law and Preliminaries of Auditing. In my last class, I had briefly explained to you what these subjects are about and how the marks are distributed according to your syllabus. Now today, I want to focus completely on commercial law first. First, I want to complete the syllabus, which is of 40 marks for commercial law. So today I will focus only on commercial law. Only after completing commercial law, then I will go to auditing. So let us start with commercial law first. In my previous class, I had briefly explained to you what commercial law is about and what are the important questions from chapter 1. Now your chapter 1 in commercial law is completely introduction chapter. First, what is law? Second, definition and meaning of commercial law or mercantile law. Now remember, commercial law is also known as mercantile law. Don't get confused. And number 3, what are the sources of Indian commercial law? Now these are the important questions from chapter 1, your introduction chapter. Now today I will start with chapter 2. Law of contract. Now the law relating to contract is contained in India. It is contained in what is known as Indian Contract Act 1872. So whatever the law that relates to contract, it is contained in your Indian Contract Act 1872. Now first of all, according to your chapter 2 syllabus, first is definition and meaning of agreement and contract, and what are the essential elements of a contract. So first let us go to the meaning of contract first. So according to your section 2H, which is in your Indian Contract Act 1872, section 2H describes contract as an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. I am saying it again, an agreement enforceable by law is a contract. So here, what do you understand by contract? It is nothing but an agreement which is enforced by the court of law or recognized by law is known as a contract. Okay? Now next, what is agreement? So yes, we are saying it is an agreement, it is an agreement. So what is agreement actually? So according to section 2E of the Indian Contract Act 1872, every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other is an agreement. In short, when we go into a contract, we make promise or set of promises to other parties. Without agreement, there will be no contract. So here, agreement is nothing but one party makes a valid offer and the other party makes a valid acceptance. Offer and acceptance by one party to another is an agreement. When they agree upon these things, agree on the same agreement, when they come to the same agreement, they have a contract, but that agreement which they form together must be enforceable by law, which means it must be recognized by the court. It must be recognized by law. Otherwise, it will not become a contract. Meaning, we have many agreements like informal agreements. Supposing, say, a set of friends, they make an agreement to go and see a movie, or they make an agreement to go for shopping. All these agreements are informal agreements and they do not come under contract because they cannot be recognized by law. So, an agreement which is enforced by law is a contract. Every agreement is not a contract. So, therefore, according to the Indian Contract Act, the contract must have an agreement, and 2, the agreement must be enforceable by law. Okay, understood? Make it very clear. A contract is an agreement enforceable by law. So it must be recognized by law. And another thing, these are the definition of agreement and contract. So I hope you have understood what is agreement and what is contract, and all these are defined under Indian Contract Act 1872. Try to remember the year because this is very important for your multiple choice questions. And again, sections. In commercial law, all the definitions are derived from sections. For example, section 2H, section 2E, all the definitions, all the important words in commercial law are described in sections in your Indian Contract Act. Now, next part of the question, essential elements of a contract. Now, the contract must fulfill some conditions, some important conditions. If they do not fulfill these conditions, it does not become a contract. It will not be recognized by the court. So, what are these conditions? These conditions, if satisfied by the court, if they are satisfied that yes, these conditions are there, so it can be a contract. So, what are these conditions? What are the important elements that has to be present in a contract? Number 1, offer and acceptance, the most important element of a contract. If there is no offer by one party and if there is no acceptance by another party, there will be no contract. So, for each and every contract, there must be a valid offer by one party and valid acceptance by another party. Okay? Now, number 2, intention to create legal relationship. Why do we make a contract? Just for fun? No. It is to create legal relationship. Okay? So, if we make a contract between two parties, what are our intentions? Our intention is to legally bind us together so that if there are any disputes, we can go to the court, we can go to the law first to settle the disputes. So that is why one of the important elements of a contract is that to create legal relationship between the parties entering into the contract. Now next, third, lawful consideration. First of all, what is consideration? I am sure. Okay, let me make it clear to you. Most of the words that we are using in commercial law, maybe it is very new to you. So, if you don't understand, please look up in your dictionary or search in your mobile phones and see what are these words, because we cannot explain each and every word to you. Otherwise, we cannot complete the syllabus. So, please look up the words. If you don't understand, try to find out what these words mean. Try to understand them. Because if you do not understand these words, some of the difficult words, you will not be able to understand the subject. So, here we have got consideration. In law, consideration means something we get. So, when we are entering into a contract, supposing two parties have decided to do a business and they agree upon the same thing and they have decided to make a contract. So, what do? Do they do it for free? No. They do it so that they get something in return. One party gives something and the other party gets something. That is why there should be lawful consideration. I repeat again, consideration means something in return. So therefore that consideration, that something we get must be lawful and recognized by the court. Okay, that is 1, 2, 3, third. Now fourth, capacity of parties, one of the important element of a contract. Capacity of parties means are the parties entering into the contract capable of doing the business together? Are they capable of entering into a contract? Do they have the capacity? Meaning, are they capable of entering into the contract? Meaning, if they have unsound mind, if they are if they have some kind of illness, if they are drunk or suffering from any disabilities, if they are out of their minds, how can they enter into parties? How can they enter into contract with the other parties? So, what is their state of mind? That is capacity of parties. Are they able to? Are they capable of entering into business together? Are they able to understand the contract? So, that is the capacity of parties. Next, free consent. Now, in order to be enforceable, an agreement must be based on free consent, meaning both the parties should have free consent to enter into contract. Because if they are forced or if they are threatened to enter into a contract, they will not have free consent, meaning the parties should be willingly happy to enter into the contract without any pressure, without any threatening, without any undue influence, without any coercion, without any pressure from other party. They should have free consent to enter into the contract. Next, lawful object. Okay, whatever your intention is, whatever kind of business you are entering into, it must be lawful, meaning the object of entering into the contract must be lawful. It must not be immoral, illegal or opposed to public policy, meaning the object of entering into the contract must be legal and it should not be illegal, it should not be immoral and opposed to public policy. Okay? Now next, 7, certainty. Once you have an agreement to enter into the contract must be certain. It should not be vague. The parties must be certain, the parties must be certain why they are entering into the contract, what are their objectives. Otherwise, it will not be a contract if they are not sure about themselves. So, the contract, one of the essential elements of a contract is that the object should be certain and not vague. Next, possibility of performance. Now, you have entered into a contract, but what are the conditions there? Is it possible to perform such a contract? The contract you have made must be possible to perform. Otherwise, it will not become a contract if the performance is impossible to perform. If you cannot perform those activities that you have, the reason you have come into the contract, then it will be impossible to make a contract. The performance must be possible to perform so that the contract can be easily done. Next, number 9, must not be declared void. Here, sometimes the contract become invalid. Void means invalid. Some of the agreements, they cannot be recognized by law, so it becomes void. So, the contract, one of the important essential elements of a contract, it must not be declared void, meaning it should not be invalid. Okay, last, number 10, writing, registration and legal formalities. Oral contract is okay, is good. There are people who make oral contract, but once we enter into a contract, should we not go into writing? Should we not register them? Should we not follow legal formalities? Since we are doing such a business, we should make it compulsory for writing and registration and legal formalities. So, these are the 10 important essential elements of the contract. So, these conditions must be present in a contract, then only it becomes a valid contract. Then only it will be recognized by the law, by the court of law, then it will become a valid contract. Otherwise, if any of these essential conditions are missing, your contract becomes invalid. The law will not recognize your contract. So, these are the 10 essential elements of a contract which must be present for a valid contract. Now, I have gone through the elements of a contract. Now, these important conditions are again discussed further. This is your part A, and again in part B of your chapter 2, we have to go in detail. Supposing offer and acceptance, intention to create legal relationship, lawful consideration, capacity of parties, free consent. These are again we have to again do it in detail. That is a continuation of chapter 2. Part B, you have got offer and acceptance. What is offer and what is acceptance? We will continue that in our next class. But first, try to understand the definition and meaning of agreement and contract and the essential elements of a contract. These 10 points, try to remember these 10 points. Without these 10 points, your agreement does not become a contract, your contract becomes invalid. So to make it a valid contract, all these elements, all these contracts must be present. Now, following these elements, there is one very important question that comes in your paper. Every contract is an agreement, but all agreements are not contracts discussed. Let me write the question. I will write it here. Every contract is an agreement. Very important question. But all agreements are not contracts. Discuss. Okay. Why I am giving you this is because this is one of the important questions from your chapter 2 part A. Important question from chapter 2 part A. Every contract is an agreement, but all agreements are not contracts discussed. Now why all agreements are not contracts? I have already explained to you. So an agreement must contain all these essential elements, then only it becomes a contract. Otherwise, if the agreements do not contain these conditions, it will not become a contract. I hope you have understood part A, chapter 2, part A. Please try to remember, try to understand the meaning of contract, the meaning of agreement. Try to remember the essential elements of a contract, which is very, very important. Okay, now we have got part B. We have to, for commercial law, part B, we have to study further about these essential elements in detail. So this much for today. So we will continue next class, chapter 2, part B.